stop bringing up Congress. I'm
not saying that.
Individuals who've been prosecuted in certain states for being fraudulent electors, they literally signed forms saying, I am the dutifully elected elector from the state of Wisconsin.
And he asked people to do that. That's what you're saying.
He got them.
Where's the evidence of that?
And then what do you think he wanted Mike Pence to do?
That?
You're being really smug about this.
Phil and Luke Beasley go at it in this debate about January 6th, political violence, and Trump's supposed shenanigans. Beasley is out here clinging to J6 like it's his last lifeline, while Phil lays down some common sense and calls out the hypocrisy. Is Beasley making a solid case, or is this just more leftist obsession with the Capitol riot?
Do you understand why it's bad to try to block the peaceful transfer of power?
Hold on. I'm smug about this because
because you don't care about maintaining the core process of
I don't know anything about what I care about, so I don't know where
clearly
you get off.
your tone makes it very clear you don't care. That
my tone comes from the fact that you had continue bringing up January 6th over and over and over and over.
It's not just about that day. Would you like me to explain it to you?
Yes.
Whenever someone loses an election and doesn't have any overwhelming evidence or any evidence at all of outcome determinative voter fraud, and then justifies, and I can't wait for you to pull the thing that I know you're going to pull up. Every person thinks they're going to dispute what I'm saying by pulling it up, and I'll say it doesn't at all refute it. But then you go through multiple allegedly illegal schemes that now he's not going to be prosecuted for because he's becoming president, but to block the peaceful transfer of power. Just forget January 6th for a second. The fake elector scheme that she wanted to talk about is an example of him trying to get unlawful people who did sign forms saying we're the lawful electors, and then he was pressuring Mike Pence to accept those as the real electors so that Trump could stay president despite losing the election.
You're going through the details about the January 6th, the things that led up to January 6th, the illegal actions that led up to January 6th, as opposed to the political violence. So you're bringing up the bad.
No,
right. So when you talk,
why do you keep bringing up? I'm explaining it's actually not just about the violence. The more consequential democratically thing
I have a question.
Is the illegal schemes or trying to get the Brad Raffensperger. Yeah,
this is what I want to talk about. Yeah, she's about to intellectually commit right-wing violence.
How many? So you're having a problem with Democrats not admitting the election. Like Hillary Clinton did say that the election was stolen. She always says
Russia collusion, Russia,
illegitimate, right? And then we had actual members of Congress.
Just do you want to explain, or can I just explain to you now why that's not at all?
Why is it not the same?
I'm not bringing up, even though I think it was vile because they were doing it because of lies. I'm not bringing up the fact that senators objected or Congress people objected to the results. Multiple times have taken shots about my fixation with January 6th, which I'm fixated, so that's why I want to talk about it. And to your point, you're talking about whenever members of Congress, which is a part of their constitutional authority, it's bad to wield that authority when you don't have a basis to. But they do have the ability to object to the electoral count.
Their constituents on January 6th were asking their representatives to do that. That's what that was.
Okay, and I haven't brought up once members of Congress objecting.
No, but why do you think the people were there? So the people were wanting their elected members to do that. They're asking them. That's why they're protesting.
So you're completely mixing up two completely different things altogether. That is the electoral count being certified. I'm talking about a president getting people to assert themselves as the electors, the actual electors. Not let's dispute the certification of the election, but let's get illegal electors counted as the electoral college. Please tell me that separation makes sense in your brain.
That makes sense, but
okay, that's what Trump tried to do.
That's not what he tried to do.
It is so overwhelmingly that he doesn't even deny it.
He's asking people. He said this was a fraudulent election, and
no, stop bringing up Congress. They literally signed forms saying, "I am the dutifully elected elector from the state of Wisconsin."
And he asked people to do that. That's what you're saying.
He got them.
Where's the evidence?
And then what do you think he wanted Mike Pence to do? What do you think he wanted Mike Pence to do?
He wanted Mike Pence to do
two indictments. That's where the evidence is.
He wants him to assert his power like Congress and not certify the election.
He wanted Mike.
He has the ability to
say he was counting the non-electors that weren't lawfully sent by the states.
Let me say,
random people.
Do you know how many?
It's crazy y'all are okay with that. Imagine that's what Biden started doing.
Wait a minute. Were you
understand?
Wait a minute.
Is that crazy?
I'm fascinated by the fact that this conversation has turned to January 6th.
Wait, were you?
I will talk about this every time until y'all admit trying to block the peaceful transfer of power is bad.
You will drive the conversation to this.
The wall.
Because yes, I will. One particular thing that we were talking about political violence, and now we've changed from political violence that on the left versus the right to procedure about January 6th.
Yeah. Procedure. Oh, okay. Let's all take a breath together. First, I
You
want to.
cannot change you're trying to deflect the fact that you went from, we were talking about violence, and you changed
You are the
the
one who brought up
subject.
January 6th when I alluded to that violence.
You're the one that
As an
brought up
example.
January 6th because she asked you for 3 options,
and I gave
one
three-
of them was January 6th, and so we talked.
First, you're accusing someone else of changing the subject when your entire argument is built on dragging January 6th into literally every conversation. Let's not pretend like it wasn't you steering the conversation there again. And even if someone alluded to it, you jumped on it like it's your safety blanket. Honestly, it's like trying to debate someone who keeps throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping something sticks. Can we maybe focus on the actual issue at hand instead of doing this circular blame game?
We started
I
talking
think
about
that's
the
the most-
violence on
one of the
January
most
6th,
notable
and then you
examples of
said, well,
political
no,
violence
let's
in American
talk
history.
about the illegal actions of President Trump.
All right, wait, time
That is,
out.
that's changing the subject from political
Because I
violence
said, do you
to
wanna-
injure that.
I'm gonna.
You know why though? Because you went, all you can think about January 6th. Sorry, I don't want to do yours. That's silly. And I went, and I was.
He has to do that because we know that the left-wing
All right,
political
I'll
violence is
accept
way more
exactly
prevalent than
why.
right-wing.
Even
That's
though
why.
you
I,
have
that's
to-
why I.
you have
That's
no-
why I
you
stopped
have
talking.
no
to that
We
about-
have a
research to
peaceful
indicate
transition
that-
of conversation to move on
I
from
know
that
you were
fact.
looking up earlier. Can you show them the research on political violence? Because y'all keep really having a difficult.
I want to see how they
So
determine
the,
it. Anyway.
the two things that he
But wait, wait.
mentioned before. Hold on a second.
But we can
two
name
things-
30. You can
Please, sir.
barely name 3.
Hold on.
Anyway.
Wait,
The
I don't
three
care about
thing-
the anecdotes. I care about the
hold on,
actual-
hold on,
Right,
hold on,
the
hold on,
data.
hold on.
Yeah, the data.
Hey, hold on. The 3 things that he mentioned, right? So there was the Mark Kelly's wife, I forget what her name was, where she was shot, right? And then there was
Paul
what was the
Pelosi.
second, Paul Pelosi.
Yep.
Both of those people, they were as much as he's going to say they were politically motivated, it's likely that they were not politically motivated in the same way.
Are you actually kidding me?
In the same
Paul
stop.
The guy literally
stop,
said, "I need
stop,
to make Nancy
stop,
Pelosi answer
stop,
for the stolen
stop,
election." He
stop,
literally said that.
stop,
Where do you think that
stop,
comes from?
Gay
stop.
lover.
Paul Pelosi's attacker and the other person, I believe they were in their he was in his underwear or something. So they were both mentally ill people. If they were politically motivated, they were not politically active people that were involved in consistent consistent political activities. They were both wrong. They were both absolutely wrong, and they both did make remarks about politics. But when you say that the right is more responsible for political violence, that's ignoring things like all of the bombings in the 70s by the Weather Underground, right? The multiple times the 2 times in the 80s that Congress itself was bombed, the 2 times that Congress itself was bombed in the 80s, that Bill
50s.
Clinton went and
Let me know when I can respond.
well, the point that I'm making is you're saying that, it's political violence when you're dealing with individuals, right? That are, obviously they're bad, condemn it, and they did make remarks about politics. But that's not the same thing as these things don't rise to the level of an entire summer of political
Right.
violence. The murders that have happened by people on the left.
Stores destroyed, cities destroyed because who wants to move to a
Those are
city?
included in the studies I'm talking
But I
about.
also want to point out that violence is just way more accepted on the left. For example, and I put this clip as the second link on the doc I sent you if we want to pull it up. Nick Fuentes is banned off so many things. He doesn't actually literally say you should die and all these. He makes jokes and stuff, but Destiny was dead serious. He's still fine. He's still on every single platform because it's okay. You can call for literal death as long as you're a left winger.
That's true.
Okay.
It's true.
Can I just have a little bit of gap of time to quickly go through a couple?
Yeah, go ahead.
Take it
your
away,
time.
Luke.
Okay.
Don't let anybody
First of all,
interrupt him.
I
Let him
totally
finish.
agree. Dismissing the Destiny said that.
Yes.
Also, I would love to explain at some point my framework of random people online versus people in positions of power and the difference there. That I agree. Anyone across the political spectrum advocating for violence would be bad. To your point, I don't know I don't really know where to go other than saying I've researched this over and over, and every time this is analyzed, it just is the case, even with the instances you're talking about, which I oppose, that right-wing political violence is more prevalent. Then on why I focus so much on January 6th and the trying to block the peaceful transfer of power, you did reference you're obsessed with that, which is why I wanted to explain why I'm obsessed with it, because I don't think any policy issue matters if we don't all agree on our democratic process, and that's what Trump disputed. Trump actually thinks he should have just gotten a second term even though he lost the election. That's super anti-democratic. The illegal schemes that we're having a difficult time apparently understanding are the ones that I'm pointing to justify that.
Trump thinks he should have gotten a second term, and that's super anti-democratic. Welcome to politics. Every politician thinks they should win. Hillary Clinton spent years saying her election was stolen by Russia, but where was the outrage then? And wasn't it Beasley's own side screaming, "Not my president," for 4 years straight? It's almost like questioning elections is only bad when it's a Republican doing it. Beasley keeps harping on January 6th because it's all he's got, while Phil brings the receipts on the hypocrisy and bigger issues. What do you think? Did Phil shut him down, or does Beasley have a point? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more bold and unapologetic content.